There we go. We are back. Sorry for the inconvenience there. This is the background. This can go up there. This there. Alrighty. Yep. We have some sort of yep. Alright. So I can keep adding these colors, etc. etc. So these colors here. Here we have orange. Can actually put the line art layer at the very top here to help guide me with my previous lines, even though really I have a solid understanding of what the piece should be. There we go. Then we have this here. Going to have to zoom a little bit to make sure I get the right shape. And here we're going towards the beak as well. It's going to be one. One color. Yeah. Yep. Up there. So now we have the beak. It kind of assimilated a little bit with her um, telescope, but that will be fixed as well. We have a good point of reference here where the shape of the telescope is, the stars in the background. We are going to make sure we mask certain bits of it, such as this, so they don't bleed into the rest of the piece. Over there. Oh, yeah, alright, alright. I think the easiest thing I can do at this stage is start working on the background itself. Have the color palette up top. don't know if my screen quality is at its best. Yeah. Pretty dimly lit, really, tonight, but hey. There we go. Alrighty. So, let's see. Background, yes. Remove this, and we need to work on the background. The background is going to mostly be big moon, puffy clouds, which need to change because now we need to tackle the starry night effect instead. And this kind of um, space aurora type thing that I'm working with here. So firstly, I'm thinking of going a little bit lighter with the moon. So the moon will actually be this lighter blue. Granted, we're going to remove a lot of this shaping. This is purely for as a base tone. And then the rest of the piece is going to have the swirls, which those will be a part of the um, star group rather than the background. So for now, I want to go back here and remove these segments here. So this is looking very painted right now, but it will, as we play around with the effects a little bit later on. Yep. This here. This one here. There we go. Now with the liner and try and clean the edge of this a little bit. Nope, on the wrong end of it. There we go. Oops. And now we have a moon-like effect at the top. Yep. Now if we add the stars to it, we have more or less the effect of the, I don't know, sunflower-looking stars. Light blue there. So there's going to be a mid-layer of 50% blue. But in this case, I'm going to put at the top of that layer. And that's going to be the effect we're giving to the moon here. We're going with a size 100 brush. And we're actually going to try and paint a flow. So we already have a base flow here. We have this base flow from the line art, right? You can see these lines here that are on top of the moon. But now we have changed the stars that previously looked like stars, as you can see, the faded stars. We changed them into the Starry Night type stars. Now the Starry Night effect revolves around flow and continuity. So somehow we need to continue the circular motion of these stars into the shape of the moon while still making sense. So I am going to start with the base color, which is the blue, and then work backwards from what we're what we have right now. No, we can't have too many clashes. We have to assimilate both both the line that were originally designed for it, which is this here, and okay, so this needs to be 50% actually. There we go. And the flow in the stars. So here we need to have a more circular motion. While here we need to continue with this flow. It will all make sense the more layers and details we add to it. So there we have a bit of an idea of what we're getting at with this. Another way I could have gone through with this is, let's see. Working backwards is what I tried to do, and clearly that did not work very well. So I'm going to mute that layer, I'm going to copy another layer, cover this really quickly. Oh no, where's the moon going? That ain't no moon. Turn this into 50%. There we go. And now make a mask here. Yep. And go back to my 125 brush. That's fine. That's a decentish size, isn't it? Nope. We were smaller before. There we go. There. And using the line art again, we can create this effect with brush strokes. See, I keep trying to work on the blue, but really, this is not the way this needs to happen. I don't know why I'm being so obtuse when I know exactly what I need to be doing. I'm being hard-headed with my own piece. That's hard. Yeah, no, not how it needs to be done. But yes, it is, but it isn't. Let's stick with what we're meant to do today, which is finishing this this base. So this needs to go. This needs to go. Everything here needs to go. Actually, I just create a silhouette around her. When I remove her, she will have an outline, and then I can remove all this. Because the more stuff gets in the background, the more layers I need to contend with. And the less confusion, the better. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Now, Celeste, again. Where is this blue going? This blue really needs to go quite high up. Yes it does. Because now that we have that shape, maybe I can blend things that we started yesterday. Once I do a bit of blending, these shapes are going to look so much better. This is 150% of This is like shadows that I'm trying to do without going too bleak. I'm keeping the piece soft and airy. Highly red blue. Or we're going to have another blue. Just this one. And this will blend ever so slightly better into the other colors because it's rich and not as bold. Of course, the problem that we're going to find here is that the contrast is so high in these. So I'm going to add a new group there. And I'm going to do a 50% light blue layer. And blendy, 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 blendy. That's that. And that's that. Now, if I take this layer here, and blend in the shadows, it will make it a little bit softer. Okay. We're almost on the right track with this. Almost. So here, this needs fixing. It's a little faux pas I did yesterday. I don't know, do we like this? Do you like this shading? Kind of, kind of. Not entirely sure of it. It is a hit or miss type situation. Not sure I love it. Don't entirely hate it. Yeah. I'm trying to shade using the soft blue, but it's not entirely blending as well as I wish it would. Let's see. Let's see. On top of this layer, we also need this. I need a 50% version of this. Now, since this is painted, I need to give the idea of some brush strokes happening. That's what I keep forgetting. I keep forgetting adding this swirly brushstroke effect, which really we need to have consistently in this style of drawing. Did you sort your party dilemma out, or have they all gotten really livid with their games master after he killed half the group? Ah, that's a shame. That's a big shame. Okay, so really, this needs to be something here. I don't want it to be. So, orchid, 50% orchid, and now we're going with white again. Well, you know, all parties get that really. Though to be fair, we had certain rules. Our games master was quite strict, so you didn't really get any drama in there. They were all very strict. They were there to have fun. If you had any issue, the door was in a certain direction and you were pointed to it. There, now we have a bit of a like rosy cheek, but non-rosy cheek. So I think while I like the color palette of the face and shoulder, I think some of it needs redoing in the sense of um, there's no brushstroke effect, and that's what this piece is all about. So I think this needs to be gone, and these layers need to be gone. And I need to start this section anew, unfortunately. Even though I'm yeah, this headset for some reason keeps disconnecting me. I'm not sure why. Okay, so that's there. So, like this here. This highlight here on the side of the face is really bothering me. It's not really contributing anything except for distracting me from the cheek. So I am opting to remove it. But really what I should be doing is grabbing it, because I like the curvature of it, moving it to this color so it blends, and move it to that letter down there. That way I have nothing lost. There we go. So now we can do a bit of these strokes here. Give it more of that impasto look. The main issue is we've all become friends over the past few years, so just kicking someone out isn't quite that simple. Well, we didn't do kicking out because my party and I were we weren't just role playing friends. We actually used to see each other every day. We went to school together, college. Um, some of us worked together. Um, we ate together at dinner. We went out together. We went to the cinema together. We were a group, you know. But you never brought drama to the session or after the session. After the session was just to discuss it, um, and that's it. If you wanted to talk about any drama, any stress, be it within the group or outside of the group or what have you, that would happen before a session, not after, because that would be a bit, I don't know. We felt like it would make people feel like their play style or what they did in session would cause said drama, so we avoided that. And it would just be whenever we go out to eat or hanging out at someone's house or something, that's when you would start your goss. Yeah, it is very difficult when it happens mid session or after. Okay, so I redid this. There is more of a paintbrushy feel than a continual, um, but somehow it's still not what I'm after. So I don't know really what it is that I'm doing. Let me tell you, it is not easy to mimic the brush strokes of Vincent van Gogh on a cartoony um, artwork with a limited palette. So this is there for the shoulder, because the shoulder shadow would arc quite upwards. I don't know, everything zoomed doesn't really give the right impression either. No. Looks like a bit of a beard. Not liking these shadows. So once again, we're going to get rid of them. We don't do not do anything half-assed. Instead, just gonna fix shapes. Sounds like you had quite the session, though. It sounded quite good, to be fair. Well written, well planned, and played out in a mess, but still pretty good. Makes me miss playing even more, to be honest. Okay, back to the liner. I need to add this part of the wing here, because it is important. Go away. Oh, Steam deciding to pop up. And oh, oh really? Okay, so drop this line art again for a little bit. I don't know if it's coming together, to be honest, because it is looking like a hot potato mess. In my eyes, at least, because usually by this time I would have at least some understanding of what I'm doing with the shading, which I don't. What I can do, really, is leave Celeste for last, instead of focusing on her, and then once I have an idea and practice on the background, then it will be easier to work on Celeste herself. But yeah, I mean, I can see her shape, which is something, at least. And I love this grainy brush. This is a brush from an artist that I was Facebook friends with, actually. Quite a long time ago, mind you. Who moved to insert state here in the US and eventually started working with Cartoon Network on um, some project or another. So, yeah, I can say I am using a brush of an industry professional. He stopped using the brush, um, which I bought, mind you. I didn't steal the brush. Yeah, he used to use this as his trademark style, this graininess. Obviously, he applied it much differently than what I'm doing now, rather than this rough, leaf, grainy pixels showing everywhere look. But yeah. You actually might know the name of the artist, Drew Green. He did quite a lot of art for the bear community. The gay community in the US is quite prominent in those circles. So yeah, okay. So Since I'm here, I might as well do these circles as well. Which are going to be a little rougher. Yeah, let's take the opportunity to do them right the first time. Yeah, they are eyebrow spheres. I have no idea. Do you know if Celeste and Blathers are canonically related or no? Like, is he her brother? Is he? Because I know Isabel has a brother, and he was supposed to be same age or younger, and he actually looks like twice her age. So let's see. Where are we at? There we go. We have the little spheres here. I am going to take away this. Where is it? Is it this halfway? Yeah. And this yellow. I don't quite like it, how it turned out. And I'd rather redo that little bit eventually. Just don't want it touching anything. So, delete all this. I want to see what base Celeste looks like. So, this is it. Is it again? Turn on that line art. Fixing here. Fixing this little bit here. There we go. Yes. And now that needs to be highlighted eventually. Okay, orange. So, orange there. Orange is masked. So if I go here. Oh no, I did decide to brighten it up. That's there, that's there. Look at that line art again. Yeah. Then as soon as I start adding these layers, it kind of blends together a lot better. Not kind of, it does blend together a lot better. So, what we're doing here is there. And there. That layer needs a little bit more blending. I get into the habit of redoing every time I misblend something, we might get to this style a little sooner than later. It's half white, content, and it's white there. Okay, so obviously here it is brighter than everywhere else because the star is touching. But does it still come across that way? Or is it kind of losing its purpose? I might use some of this like that to kind of give it, keeping in mind that I will be adding a layer here and going through with the brush. When I must. So I can disconnect it there if I want to. Just don't want to. I know. I'm experimenting because I really have no clue. Now this shoulder highlight here is really wrong. This needs to terminate somewhere at that angle there. And so does the yellow water. There we go. This added those highlights there. This continued where it should have. There. Now here we need to add some sort of shadow, but we're not worrying about that right now. Is this is the right one? Yeah, that is. Hello viewers. Didn't realize we went up to 7 viewers. How are you all doing tonight? Good, I hope. I am navigating my way through an artwork that I have mostly no clue what I'm doing. So please grab a share, a bucket of lemons, and start throwing at your screens because I really have no idea what I'm doing. Alright. Yeah, we have that highlight there. Now we need to contrast with orange on the leg. So I want to give it a more brushed effect where and when I can, rather than smoothness. So you can see how this will pan out. Is this gonna go to hell again? Since we added the blues? Very probably, yes. Hmm. No, too much, too much chaos there. So let's remove this. Yes, there's an expression. I don't know if it's an expression that is used here in the UK, but in Malta and Italy, when someone does wrong, um, or when someone is failing, you um, you shower them with tomatoes or eggs or lemons. And lemon is more used when you failed, when you thought you were going to do really well at something and you fail at it. That's where the lemon comes in. When you're just booing someone, it's tomatoes and eggs. I don't know. It's it's that kind of useless stuff that you learn from me ever so often. Culture is beautiful, depending on which culture. Ours is a bit dodge. Okay, so this has to connect here. I can't really avoid it. Yeah, it is. Lemon is more a Maltese thing, I have to admit. Um, I think in Italy it's more egg, and I think worldwide it's more of an egg thing as well. Yeah. Have you heard? Because I know you're a bit in a bit of a predicament right now with your internet and what have you. Have you heard of the game What Remains, I think, or Whatever Happened to? But I think it's What Remains. What Remains of Edith Finch. Have you played that game or heard of it? If you do have it, then I would strongly suggest spending your Sunday going through it. It's only, I would say, 2 hours long, 2.5 hours long, maybe, and it's absolutely brilliant. I I watched a playthrough of it because um, I was doing some chores today, and I watched very quick. Wasn't a very quick playthrough because it's a quick game. So yeah, watched a playthrough of it, and I have to say it is absolutely fantastic and certainly not to be missed. Brilliant story writing, very straightforward, lots of mini games to get you through it. Um, and yeah, I strongly recommend um, having a look at it. So I don't know if I like what I'm doing here. Because realistic isn't exactly what we're after. So going with this bony look her for her like crow's feet isn't exactly what. But I needed to somehow add to this painted look because we're going very flat again. Yeah, do give it a play. It is absolutely fantastic. Actually, Rosie um, told me to give it a look because she knew I like story-based games, and I put it on this morning. Started it during breakfast and carried on while I finished some bits, and it was everything I would want it to be and more. Really, honestly, such a good game. I would go as far to say that it is one of the best written short games that I have seen in quite some time. I don't know how I feel about this leg. Mm, don't know. Don't know. Really, to be more mindful of these these brush strokes. Yeah, I really don't like that white on it. How much light orange do we have in the bottom? Let's fix this here. Because really we should have less of this yellow as well. We need some, but we don't need a lot. So I would say fix one of the mask here. And more to here. What actually is that color? there is oh, I see. Is this? Yes. So now, if I diminish the blue into and diminish this a bit more. These tiny little strokes. Then I can give more shape to this and make that leg make more sense shape-wise than a flat object. I don't know if I'm doing it properly, but it's following. So if that was like this, then the center bit here would be a little bit more indented and the light would catch it less. So we want this part to be clean and that part not to be. Yeah, there we go. So this is the blue at the base. There. And if you wanted to give it more dimension really, I could erase a little bit of it, but there's too much grain and everything happening. I think it's fine as it is. Don't know quite yet, but it's getting somewhere. That way. Now, as defining lines that I need to show, we have these. We have this here. I want to give it that bit of a there we go. That's the little talent, so to speak. Yeah, chipping away at the layers to kind of reveal what's behind it. Alright, now this highlight here needs to continue really, just a little bit to flow properly with the rest of the wing. So we can work on that a tiny bit. Um, At least we have one part of Celeste that is kind of, kind of taking shape. Yeah, terrible. I feel like at this point I should know what I'm doing, but I don't. Genuinely don't. This needs to go upward, and so do these metal lines. I don't want it to go too upward. I don't want it touching the beak. There, orange. And finally, the half orange. Just kind of, just mostly being carried here. I can pull back some of this. But that's there. 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 Alright. Now, we have... Okay, so these, really, I just want to delete this one. Because they aren't being harmful. They were in the beginning, but now they're really just getting in our way. So this highlight here is going to go like so. Oops. There. And there. Now we backtrack and build the other layers. So this is 50% white, which will help the white fade. Then we go into the yellow. We blend that yellow into our white. And this might look like what we had before, but it is a little bit more blended. A little bit. Now what could be really full circle with this piece is to digitalize this into an Animal Crossing painting with a QR code. I think that would work quite well. Okay, let's find the yellow up top. I tried putting some music on in the background, but it didn't seem to work. Don't know. Is there like a... Yeah, I have no idea how to do it. I will eventually, but bear with me. I'm still learning how to draw, and this is a drawing stream, not a play a band stream. Oh my, that lighting looks absolutely garbage. Huh. Why do I keep doing bits that I really dislike? See, this is where I would usually say, maybe this piece is a no. And it ends up, excuse me, Corona. Um, it it ends up being a save file on my desktop for um, months and months on end. So yeah, thank you, thank you. I don't know how. Like, I wish I knew how, but um, I really don't know how to add. Like, I wish I could play something on YouTube. Those like 4 hour loopy loop music, free for streaming type things, and um, not hear it myself, basically. But I have no idea how to do it. I shall be honest. No clue. Yeah, we're going to remove all this for now because I have no idea where I'm going with it. Really, really, really no idea. Instead, what we're doing is see if I can salvage at least working on this. At least. This would be nice if I actually managed to conclude one thing today. What do you think? So this is lighting here. This is lighting there. And this is the yellow here. There, we kind of have some sort of do I have any blues? No, no, I have a shading there. I want to give this some sort of here and there. So here we're going with I want to draw I want to give it like the star effect, the swirly star effect, but instead with cold colors because it is the lens. So we're going with swirly swirly. The telescope. Instead with whites and blues only. So this is our light blue layer, like in this font type. And we need a 50% light blue layer. Which needs to fill all the little bits that we haven't filled. There we go. There. See how easy that was? No hassle. Because I actually knew what I was doing. Or rather, I knew what I wanted to do. Here, we are going to try and add some sort of color fade. So not too strong one. There. Just enough to show the dimension there. Now usually I would probably add a bit of shadows because it is metal. And once again, I am forgetting to do the painted effect because who needs that? Does that work as my song? Um, no, no idea. Oh my goodness. I'll get there. I'll get there. Once I have a better picture of it, I'll get there. Goodness, goodness, goodness. Okay, so the bottom layer, or rather this hullabaloo here. Oh, okay. So while I'm in business here, oh, I even put that in the wrong layer. Crikey. This shading is entirely in the wrong layer. Because well, we're not really using these layers yet, so I can switch them out. There you go. Cheating. Uh, Back to this. We're going to do these little curves. There. And I'm going to add this shadow of blue, because this is the like the outer bit of the gold from the telescope. If that makes sense. And I can just see there where we're going like this. I'm going to be adding that line there. Just that for now. Just because we need something to distinguish. We're going to add that there, add a bit of shadow there. So behind me, it's pitch black and I am in complete darkness. But behind me, I actually bought a set of rainbow LED light bulbs and they are switched on actually. And I can see them. I can, well, I can't see them because they're dim as an ogre under the bridge. But they are there. They are certainly there. They are invisible to the naked eye, and they might go straight to in the box back to where I bought them. Yes, they are on. They are illuminating. They are very much on right now. Yes, 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 yes. And just so you know, can have a laugh at this, I guess. I also bought this to be in the background. I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but yeah. So this is a rainbow neon sign that I thought, why not have it in the background of my beautiful grand Gale stream. And it lights up nicely, but the camera doesn't pick up any of the colors because it is so bright. And I can see these colors very vibrantly, very nicely, very well distinguished, but you can't see them on camera. They are way too bright. So this is overcompensating um, the really dim bulbs behind me. So this is when you spend £50 in lighting for your first proper stream, and it all goes to quack, quack, quack. I do like the rainbow one. I am keeping it because it is eye-pleasing, not on camera, but the bulbs behind me are dead, unfortunately. They are not okay, and they need to be returned promptly to the hell which they came from. Yeah, they don't do very well, bless them. Let's see. Blue, blue, blue. What are we gonna do with you? So this kind of goes like that. This goes like that. So this is clipping onto that ring. Yes, 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 yes. Maybe with a bit of tweaking you could replace the LEDs with colored ones. What do you mean, colored ones? Colored one? See, why do I have to do a really nice shape, but not in the tune of the piece? So this needs to go like so. I don't want any yellow here, so that's going to have to go. What I do want is the light blue. That's there, yes. I want a light blue here. And then I want this yellow to go away. I want the white to come back. Wrong brush. Then we need our half color to blend here and there into this. There. So I have that swirly effect in this telescope, which I hope people can tell it's a telescope, because I'm quite keen on how it turned out. That's a good excuse, isn't it? Yep. Now I'm going to add one last bit on the egg here. Yes, it is looking decently swirly now, which is fab. It is what I wanted it to look like, thankfully. There we have this. We have this. We're going to play with See, if you wanted to challenge yourself with something completely left field, that will probably help you in no piece whatsoever, other than have fun artistically, you can try this Vincent van Gogh challenge and see if you can do a piece that's made predominantly of a dark blue, a sky blue, orange, yellow, and white, and do swirly effects everywhere until it makes you dizzy and ever so slightly nauseous, like I am feeling. There. So now we have this. We have a telescope. Do I want to add a little bit extra onto it? Maybe. maybe I want to do just a small, because this is going to end up going over everything. Yeah. And, oh, silly, silly. It it can be fun and relaxing if once you grab a grasp of it, of what you're actually doing. Otherwise, it can be a bit frustrating. I will not lie. Want to do, oops, wrong thing. I want to do a bit of a shine somewhere where it doesn't get lost. Hopefully, that also makes sense in the piece. So right there, I'll do just fine. It's not swirly, but it pops in the right way at least, not in a bad way. Just going to refine it a little bit so it doesn't look as saving, just in case my laptop decides that it's time to crash, which it does. It's done it before. It wouldn't be the first time. I am also very happy that today we got up to 23 followers from the 9 I had yesterday. Was it 9 I had yesterday morning? So we are almost halfway to the goal of 50, which is this month's goal that I've now decided I wanted to reach. Extra. We'll call that extra at the top. This, what do I really want to do with this? I almost want to add a bit of yellow at the top, just to blend this a little bit. But I don't want to go really harshly on it. So I want to try and make sure that it's there we go. That little bit over there is more than enough. We have a telescope. Do I want to add a little bit more maybe at the top? I think I do. Not sure if it's the best of ideas, but I think it will help blend the color a little bit more. See, I don't want it to look symmetrical, so I'm not going with the same flow over the wave, because otherwise it just doesn't gel very well. Yeah, I have to say, I am very happy that we got to that we got to 23. Um, it is difficult, I would say, to um, get the initial numbers in any social media, but with streaming, it is a little bit more of a dedicated crowd, I would say, than than with other areas, because even though people like following art, it doesn't necessarily mean that they like to hang around and have someone talking for X amount of hours. So it is quite nice. I do hope I find an audience here, um, because, as you know, I draw for hours and hours on end every day, and it would be nice to have people um, tune in. And I don't know, it's motivating. It's always motivating. So why would this be any different? I suppose. Alrighty, next. We are done with that. And I am very happy that I'm done with that because I don't want to think about it any further, to be honest. Alrighty. So now what I want to do is I'm trying not to think about Celeste because there's so much work on her that needs doing. That is like a brick wall of things to do when it comes to Celeste. So I am actually going to get started on the background stars, even though I said I'd leave these for tomorrow. So I am going to start playing around with them. No idea what just happened here. Why would this do this? No one knows. Probably because it should be like that instead. Yes. So I need to change the stunner to this. Right. So confusing. Okay. So as we did yesterday, first we refine the edges. Yeah, I guess so. But also, I don't. If I put the effort into cultivating a following for streaming, I don't see why it needs to be limited to art then, because while it is what I predominantly work on, it doesn't mean that I didn't spend almost 400 hours now playing Animal Crossing, and it doesn't mean that I haven't spent the last 3 years obsessively playing The Sims. And I think that at the end of the day, I could um, I could find an audience that will enjoy all the little um, facets of the stuff I do. So, you know, why not give that a try? Okay, really, really, what are we doing here? What we are doing is setting up layers, which we need half orange, which will go behind our orange. This needs to be a 50% layer. We have a yellow. Nope. I have a yellow and a white. We have a 50% white. Goes there. We have a 50% yellow that goes there. And these two layers need to be reduced to 50%. There we are set, ready to burn this down. This is going to start with a circle. Move on to this, expand the circle. Then we're going to switch to the yellow. Then we expand to the 50%. I love how this makes it look almost like on fire. I mean, not that we are using specific tones that make it look like fire anyway, right? How magical is this? Then we want this to jump to 50, maybe? Yeah. And we want it to so keeping in mind that this half orange is going to blend into blue. So while we have that background circle there, that is going to expand a little bit more. So this is actually going to move there as a blue, because our blue does not expand beyond. So that needs to be there. And this is going to end up there. Now we need 2 more layers, which are the light blue and 50% light blue. This is going to be our first full star, right? So, going to fix here. We're going to go for the 50% light blue as we did up top to try to blend as much of this as possible. So that is 1. Just need to do all the others. Obviously, now that I did that, I have to go back and fix all the mid layers. So, actually want more out of this. Do I like it that grand, or do I like it a little bit more subdued and diminished? Yeah, we like it. We like the strength that it shows when it's bigger. So we're going to yellow again. Going to add more of this yellow. There. And then we're finally going to make the white a bit bigger. So in theory, if I were to work on the outside first, I would get this done a little bit faster. But I never know the shape, how much the star is going to grow, unless I start from the nucleus and whatever, however you pronounce that, and then move further and further outward. It's really, really difficult to judge. I am getting through it. Kind of like, don't know. Nothing that was gonna come out of my mouth was appropriate. Yeah, I am getting through it. Slowly, slowly. Yeah, and it has that kind of mythical feel to it. It's almost like when, yeah, rude. It's kind of like when Wisp is getting his soul back. You know, there's those chunks of like tailed spirit fragments. So we're kind of combining that element with stars for Celeste with the Starry Night look. So it all kind of blends in together. So once we're done with the second one now, I don't think you can see my mouse when I move it, right? Once we're done with the star next to it, we'll have two orbs fully formed, and then we can use the blues from those two formed orbs to shape the background in the flow that I was discussing in the beginning. So these stars need to be done. Yeah. So once we have the base circles for all the stars done, we might have to delete quite a bit of the blue in it because we want that to kind of swim in um, like if you see Star Night painting, the stars are at the center of this like watery almost effect with the blues that are creating a flow. And that's what we're going to be trying to recreate here uh, with this piece. Only we need to form those layers first, and then we can kind of capture where the flow of blue in the background is going to work out, which makes you marvel at what Vincent van Gogh created. It is just astounding, really. Such a brilliant mind. Yeah, the sky needs to look like ripples in the ocean. I think all in all, I'm quite happy with where we're at with this. It is turning into a nice piece. I don't know about Celeste yet, which is funny because it's the character. But I think the way I dealt with shading um, on the telescope might work for the rest of her. So instead of going with the really sharp royal blue first, I just use that to strike outlines like I did on the edge of the beak, and then just fill in with the 50% navy blue rather than go into the large amount of different layers with the navy, then half navy, then blue, then, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, I'm going to try my hand at that tomorrow. First things first is going to be finishing the stars, the circular stars. And once we are done with that, I am going to, um, yeah, I think I'll finish the background first, is what I'm trying to say, and then move on to Celeste. All right. I think we've passed the 2 hour mark now with 10 minutes over. I'm trying to train myself to do 2 hours and not 8, which I've done in the past on Facebook when I used to stream doing portraits. And I am going to bid you good night for now. But thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I appreciate it that you stayed in the chat with me again, Mr. Running on Ram. And thank you for stopping by. I hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, the stream will start probably at about 11:30, quarter to noon. Uh, we will be hopefully joined by other artists from the UK convention circuit, so it would be good for you to hang out a little bit, get to talk with some people, and yeah, we'll see if we can get these stars done and the background finished, because then next week I will, yeah, I want to conclude this really, because quite like it, and I want to see what it looks like on print and on a t-shirt as soon as possible. Thank you for dropping by. Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good night, and I will speak to you tomorrow. Bye bye.